Presented by Raytheon, making the world a safer place.
This week on Campaign 2018 Election Hacking, we take a closer look at the growing role social media plays on influencing voters. We want to begin with what hackers often refer to as influence campaigns. This is when malicious actors use automated fake accounts known as bots to spread misleading information online.
When they do this, they're able to reinforce inflammatory and divisive ideas. This week, CNET senior producer Dan Patterson spoke to a former FBI agent, Leo Taddeo. He specializes in cybersecurity and explained just how damaging these types of attacks are on voters.
They were able to create not only confusion in the pre-election process, but massive amounts of discord and confusion in the post-election environment in the United States, continuing to this day and continuing to sow doubt running into the 2018 election cycle.
So for more on this, Dan Patterson joins us on the set. So Dan, we just heard from Leo there, sort of explaining how these campaigns work and how they sort of influence people. Can you flesh that out for us, though? Exactly, you see something online or it shows up in your news feed, but how does that change my mind about something?
Yeah, so Russia's IRA actually used social media a lot like it's intended to be used. If you were a marketer running a marketing campaign, you would hire a staff full of IT people, graphic designers, social and search experts. Russia's IRA did exactly that. They had what looks like about hundreds of employees who were designed to spread misinformation. So they used bots, they created content that was often divisive, and it was hyper-targeted, just like Facebook, Twitter, and Google allow us to do, at target markets. So when you see a message over and over and over, in advertising we call this priming, and that's exactly what the IRA did.
So Anne-Marie and I were watching and looking at a New York Times article that had a bunch of different sort of fake accounts, and they were asking viewers to identify the fake accounts versus the real ones. And for the first couple of minutes we looked at it, we actually struggled to figure out what was fake about some of these, and we just sort of ran a graphic showing some of the types that we were looking at. How does it play out, these influence campaigns? How does it play out on Facebook? How does it play out on Twitter? How does it play out on Instagram? I mean, it can't just be visual images.
Right. So in Facebook, they actually organized real-world events. In fact, we saw this Unite the Right 2 event that was attempted to be organized just this last August. Facebook discovered the influence campaigns and stopped some of these. But if you think about a real-world event, this isn't just seeing propaganda. This is putting you together with people who are of like mind, and they can reinforce each other's ideas. On Twitter, this will surface as bots. So these are automated accounts that are designed to amplify a signal or message. Again, when you see the same type of signal over and over and over, you may dismiss that particular account, but again, you are primed to receive a particular message.
So here's the thing, though. These malicious entities, if it's Russia or whoever, you said that they're using these social media platforms the way they're sort of intended to be used. So then who should respond to this? I mean, how do you shut it down, or who should shut it down, and how do they go about doing that?
That's a fantastic question, and we're all kind of figuring it out right now. Twitter, Facebook, Google, and the other social companies are stopping automated accounts. Of course, we're seeing congressional hearings all over the country and the world. And, I talked to Taddeo about this. He had some ideas. Let's take a listen.
I think it's a problem that needs to be addressed. There needs to be transparency. I don't think it is a single agency or single news agency's problem to solve. There has to be a whole of government, whole of private enterprise approach to understanding where our news comes from, where our sources of information originate, and how we digest and assess credibility.
So the President of the United States, when he was running for the office, famously said that what was happening with social media may have been some 400-pound person in his basement. Our intelligence agencies have established that that is not the case, that these are concerted efforts by foreign governments, in most cases, to attempt to meddle in our elections. So is there anything individuals can do to recognize this type of ad or this type of behavior and not be taken in by it.
Yeah, so these influence campaigns are actually not just targeted at the United States election, but they're all over the world and coordinated by a number of different cyber actors. So it's important for all of us, not just in the United States, but internationally as well, to look for and think about kind of spammy behavior. If this was coming to our email, we'd have no problem going, oh, that's spam, we'll dismiss it. On social media, just look for rapid spikes of activity, look for accounts that seem as though they're kind of, the language is off or maybe written by a computer. Look for lots of hashtags and, check those at mentions and see, is this person or this account at replying a ton of people at once? Are they using lots of hashtags? It's really look for spammy type of behavior and then slow. Before you interact or engage with a piece of content, just think, is this real? Is this coordinated? And should I share it or should I dismiss it?
Really
That's
illuminating.
good advice,
yeah,
man.
Thank you. Dan Patterson, as always, thank you so much. For more of Dan's reporting on this and other stories, check out cbsnews.com/election hacking. And our election hacking series continues next Wednesday. We're going to speak to Dan about how vulnerable our voting machines are. That is next Wednesday, right here on CBSN.